Finally got to play Helldivers 2.
Yeah.
Um,
Diving in hell with the Helldivers 2. Is that the theme song?
should be.
Fucking
No, it's such an interesting game, just because of the story behind it. And I do want to do a video about it at some point, but basically it's a up to 4 players co-op shooter, third-person shooter, where you're basically fighting two kinds of enemies. There's the automatrons that are like these like hellish, crazy, difficult robots, and then you're fighting the I think they're called terminids, which are like the bugs. So it's got a lot of comparisons to.
Did you say automatwats?
Automatrons? Well, you know what they are? Automatwats. But we kind of mentioned it last episode because we talked about the Starship Troopers discourse, and the reason, and I mentioned it last episode, this game does have a like very clear inspiration from Starship Troopers, and I think it's so cool to see an original property that shows its inspirations on its sleeve, but finds new ways to make it different and fun. And like
just blow your load.
Well, what's cool about it is it doesn't really have a story because the players kind of tell the story.
That's fine.
And what I mean by that's
cool.
the way that it's split up is you are on Super Earth, which is all the nations in the world just came together and agreed to have one united government, and it was Super Earth. But for real no reason of their own, they learn how to do space travel. So this game is about how you are fighting for a group of people that wants to just colonize these planets. So you're going in to just wipe out these bugs and robots, and it's like this game is
cool.
It's a satire, and it's pointing at you and saying like you are playing like.
Did you ever play Risk? Like
I know what it is, but I've never played it. No,
because they had a Sega Genesis, or no, it was a PlayStation version of Risk, and I played it forever, and it was so fucking fun, dude. Because you basically you can set the settings a certain way, and there was a zombie. There's an online mobile game version of Risk.
Oh yeah.
And once you unlock it, there's a zombie invasion version, which is so fucking hard because like anyway.
But no, what I love about it is that the way that this game
Can't wait to tell you about this.
presents itself and what makes it such a interesting satire. Yeah. On one hand, it's a very positive community of players.
Cool.
Because the developer said we don't want to put it in PvP because we don't want to build a toxic community. We like
What's PvP?
Player versus player, which would be like Call of Duty and like Halo and shit.
Yeah, well, that's that leads to bullying, whether you like it or not.
This is different because this is player versus environment, so PvE. It's a co-op game. And what's really cool and interesting about it, it's a live service game, and this is an example of how to do a live service game correctly, in my opinion. The game is $40, not $70, $40. You're getting a ton of content for free, almost all the armor you can earn in-game, and if you do buy it, it's not ridiculously expensive. It's not like $20 for a fucking cape on your character, you know what I mean? Like I don't mind doing like cosmetic microtransactions as long as they're like reasonably priced. And I don't know, there's just so much content for a $40 game, and I've only played a few hours. I've only scratched the surface, and in that few hours I was having so much fun because it feels like you're all working towards a common goal because it's a live game. You can look up at the galactic map, and there's red on the left, yellow on the right. The yellow is the bugs, the red is the robots. And that is how much of the galaxy that hasn't been liberated. And so that means other players are getting their shit kicked in on these other planets. So you're seeing people reach out to other players like, I need help on this planet. Can somebody come, like, let's team up, squad up, and like... And it's so funny to see how positive this is when this game is actually a satire mocking fascism and colonialism. Where it's
how socialist it is.
And because the people of Super Earth have no reason to colonize. They just want to do it. Manifest destiny, Mm-hmm. And
goddamn humans.
But it's such an interesting concept, and it's kind of a weird phenomenon because it's a small game. It's $40. and it blew up. Like, it had over 400,000 concurrent players on PS5 and PC, and that's without like a big marketing campaign. That's a lot of word of mouth. That's people talking about how fun it is, and it is ridiculously fun, man. It is like playing Starship Troopers. It is like being in that kind of, but also feeling unique because it's ridiculous. Like, the explosions are ridiculous and awesome, and you can like high five and like do like the Predator kind of like bro high five. There's even one pose where if you light a bomb, you can spread your arms out like a T pose, and it's like you're raining down death.
Even flow.
Yeah. And
explain this, atheist.
Dude, there have been so many insane edits on TikTok of like people putting in like fucking Black Sabbath and like Freebird solo of like some of the crazy shit people can do in this game. Like, your character, if you hit a button, will like dive backwards and then lay on his back if you like are getting overwhelmed. Like, I've played maps where like one of the guys dies and we evacuate and one of the guys stays and dies, and it's like, made the ultimate sacrifice for democracy. Like the whole game is like that. Like, one time I dropped in, and that's another, I keep gushing about it and I'll stop. The funny thing is you customize your character, right? But you're really just customizing what your armor is going to look like, because you die a lot in missions. Friendly fire's on, so if I drop an orbital strike and you're too close, I'm going to blow you to bits, and I'm going to have to reinforce you. But when I reinforce you, it's not the same character. It's some other person. It's a different voice actor. It's, you know what I mean? It's a female instead of a male. So it's like kind of showing you how expendable.
Oh, woke.
But it's showing you how expendable these people are and how like insane this idea is, right? And some of the lines, man, like they dropped in like, all right, let's get a cup of liberty. And I'm like, what the hell? And if like if you're like wounded, some of the things you yell when you're wounded, you'll be like, for democracy.
When you said,
like explode.
When you said some of those lines, man, that was like me
cocaine.
And Coke parties.
So anyway, Helldivers 2. I will do a.
I don't want to do another long box. I'm tired. Off panel, off topic with Jake and Tyler.